Court TV, Late Night Court TV. Today we're gonna go through another case, of a real case in St. Martin. Gotta let you all know, these are real people, these are real cases, and these are real sentencing. Okay, so nothing is made up. The only thing that may not be real is St. Martin. This is a case of, you know, that flag is going to get you. You'll understand what I mean a little later. Tonight, we have a blockbuster of a case. Ladies and gentlemen, lock your doors, okay? Protect all your yogurt at home, okay? Put away all your most comfortable pillows. Hide your children, because the Justice Department has finally taken down an 80-year-old former Minister of Finance and Justice for trying to bring a blicky, well, a plastic blicky, let's call it a plicky, through the airport. That's an airsoft gun. Let's get into it. That's right. Richard Gibson Sr., if I'm not mistaken, Richard Gibson was a Minister of Finance a couple of times, was a senator. He was also Minister of Justice, or acting at some point in time. Is now public enemy number one. That's right, he's been slapped with a 1-year probation and a conditional fee of $250. Now, if you know who Richard Gibson is, the $250 fee is as absurd as the actual case. $250. But only if he commits another crime, he has to pay the $250. So he went 80 years of not committing crime, being a lawyer, protecting people, and now if he commits another crime in a year, like before he's 81, we're gonna slap him with $250. He might go on an airsoft rampage. That's the kind of gun. It's not even a real gun. It's kind of like a pellet gun, but it shoots airsoft little plastic bullets that are totally non-fatal. So anyway, he might go through a rampage through Phillipsburg, and then they're gonna make him pay. Let's break this down. An air gun, for those unfamiliar, is a non-lethal weapon that it fires plastic pellets using pressurized air. You know, like the things kids shoot at each other at birthday parties, basically. But according to local law, they're illegal because they look like real guns. Because they look like real guns. If you go to Cost-U-Less, be careful of buying anything that looks like a real gun. Okay, well, we wouldn't want anyone mistaking an 80-year-old man with a pellet gun for a hardened criminal. No, sir, that's a job for the Justice Department. Now, I mean, what is he going to do? Is he going to rob Burger King, Najiko, maybe Gibson Law offices? He's gonna go in with his plastic gun and say, yo, give me your money, give me my money, because Richard Gibson is one of the most prolific business people on St. Martin. He probably have hands in most of the businesses that could get robbed. Anyway, but no, some people should say they caught him at the airport. He had a good excuse. Let's let it slide. No, let's run up a bill. Let's the Justice Department run up a bill taking this to court. Why? Because the flag is gonna get you. You don't get it yet, do you? I'm gonna get to that, okay. It could have just been a simple misunderstanding, but no, our fearless prosecutor office, I'm not trying to have beef with you at all. Welcome to St. Martin, have a good time. The prosecutor's office is not about to let a former Minister of Justice off easy, because let's face it, if there's one thing threatening public safety on the island, it's retired politicians with shopping mall souvenirs from Panama, because that's where he bought it. And speaking of that, let's talk about this dangerous weapon. Gibson purchased it in a Panamanian shopping mall. I mean, there's so much things wrong with that. 1, he's 80, so nobody's checking on him. 2, he's a politician from St. Martin, so he must be a criminal. 3, he bought it in a Panamanian shopping mall. Suspect says the same thing to me as it does to the judge. Okay, but it wasn't a secret underground arms dealer like we have in St. Martin. It's not the illegal smuggling ring like we have right here in St. Martin, but a mall. So covert. That means at some point there was a kiosk right next to the food court selling these things, and probably a buy one get one free. But you know, Richard Gibson, he ain't falling for none of those sales tricks. Buy one, I just want one. I ain't buying one to get one free at a higher price. If you know Richard Gibson, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, it gets better. Gibson actually had a letter from then caretaker Justice Minister Lyndon Lewis. Yes, from Batman himself. He had a letter stating that he didn't need a permit for that type of gun. Right, because it's not a real gun. Boom, case dismissed. Wrong, because according to the prosecutor, permission needed to be obtained before Gibson entered St. Martin. You see, in the Justice Department's world, time travel is required for legal compliance. Oh, and let's not forget the custom officers who originally confiscated the air gun gave it back to him. Now, I like to keep the boys and girls in blue on my side all the time. I should always have good friends. But why do y'all give it back to him if it was, why do you give it back to him and then it ends up in court? You know what I mean? And like, I know him, I'm sure he didn't really spring for a lawyer. He probably just did this on his own. And here he is sentenced. Anyway, like, why give it back to the guy who just got caught with it? But hey, the prosecutor's office called that an administrative mistake. Why don't people make administrative mistakes with me? Like, GB, feel free to make an administrative mistake. Tax office, feel free to practice your mistakes with me anytime. Administrative mistake gave him back the plicky, aka the blicky, plastic blicky, gave it back to him. And so anyway, I bet next week they'll be arguing to the moon. It's made of cheese. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. Surely the judge threw this nonsense out, right? No. The judge ruled that Gibson had no criminal intent because of course he didn't. What is he going to do at 80 years old with an airsoft gun? Suppose let's just pretend we're in Carrefour, because he's 80, he goes to Carrefour. We're in Carrefour, and somebody's checking out. You know, like they got their fresh vegetables and European cheeses, and Richard Gibson says, "Excuse me, excuse me." Excuse me, yeah, this is a robbery. This is a robbery. Can I, could you give me what's in the register? Oh, that's it? Imagine Richard Gibson, 80 years old, robbing the cashier line right next to you at Carrefour. Oh God, are we going to stop? Is anybody going to be in fear? None against you, Richard Gibson. You definitely went to cowboy in your heyday. This ain't your heyday. This is your day after the day after the day after heyday, and pulling out a plastic gun, it's not gonna scare me. Anyway, so what's next for this villainous mastermind, Richard Gibson Sr.? Well, he was sentenced to a conditional fine of $250 if he commits another crime, and a full year of probation, during which we assume he'll be closely monitored to ensure he doesn't accidentally purchase another novelty item at a duty-free shop. Gibson, of course, has the right to appeal, which means this gripping saga could go all the way to the panel of 3 appellate judges. That's right. Imagine the legal mind sitting down for this discussion. Judge 1 gonna be like, all right, what's the case? Judge 2 gonna be, 80-year-old former Minister of Justice with a pellet gun. Judge 3 gonna be, thank God. I thought we were dealing with criminals in this court. Criminals in this court. So there you have it, folks. Sleep soundly tonight knowing that justice has been served. Knowing that justice has been dealt out strongly. You know that our boys and girls in blue out here solving serious crimes. Yeah. No longer will our peaceful streets be terrorized by elderly men with pellet guns from the Panamanian Mall. You know the guy in the middle who just sell things to clean your shoes, or like phone cases, from one of those guys. I can't make this up. But back to the flag. I mean, in Curacao, you know, their flag beautiful two lines of sunshine really showing them. Stacia have the actual like star in the middle. Sabre have the actual mountain in the middle. But what does St. Martin have? The courthouse. That's right. St. Martin got a courthouse. So you could be Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Minister of Justice, Senator of the Dutch Caribbean or the Netherlands Antilles, and guess what, man? First time conviction. You could be 80 years old. That courthouse gonna get you. Yeah, the courthouse gonna get you. They're not letting nobody go. Politician, the courthouse gonna get you. It's gonna get you. I don't know how else to say it. It's on the flag. Anyway, this is Late Night Court TV. New rule. Stop arresting people over 80. Stop arresting people over 75. And stop selling toys that can be actual weapons. If the law is going to make them actual weapons, then you shouldn't be able to buy them. And lastly, new law. Don't listen to nothing Lyndon Lewis said when he was minister. Obviously, you can get yourself in trouble. Good night. Late Night Court TV.